Hi, I'm Peggy Farren, and we are live with the Understand Photography Show, where we talk about travel and nature photography. Welcome to episode 37. Now remember, we're live right now on Facebook, on the Understand Photography Facebook page, but this is also going to be on YouTube, and also we turn this into a podcast on iTunes. So do a search on iTunes for the Understand Photography Show, and you can listen to this in the car. How's that? So, have you watched our free webinar called How to Get a Solid Photography Education in Just 4 Weeks? We put the link right in the show notes, so if you go to understandphotography.com and to the show, today's show, any show really, you can watch that free video. Our class is actually called the 4 Weeks to Proficiency in Photography, and the next class begins on June 8th. It's an online class, however, it's not like any other online class you've ever taken because it's a live class. I teach it live. You can ask questions live. I'm showing you the PowerPoint. I'm going through it. I'm asking questions. I'm saying, do you get it? You have to answer me, yes, I get it, or whatever. I tell you what buttons. I show you pictures, what buttons to turn and push and dials and everything like that. It's geared towards beginners, but it's a really solid foundation in photography education, so a lot of intermediate photographers will really get a lot out of that as well. So that's on our website, understandphotography.com, pretty much everywhere, but everything's going to be right in the show notes for today, episode 37's show. My guest today is wildlife photographer Cheryl Arena from Seek the Light Photography. Welcome, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Thank you for driving over.
Absolutely.
Cheryl drove over from the Fort Lauderdale area, which is not that far, an hour and a half.
2 hours and 20 minutes from where I live.
2 hours and 20 minutes?
Yes, from where I live.
Oh, wow.
Actually, 2 hours and 20 minutes to get to where I was before here, what I had to do this morning. So probably could cut that 20 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, because we go to Fort Lauderdale all the time. It's like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But maybe you're on the other side.
Well, it's because I am down commercial, so once you get to Lauderdale, you have to drive another 20 minutes to get to where I am.
You know,
I'm in Lauderdale by the sea.
This place there was no exit. And it would take so long from the exit off the expressway to get here, but then they gave us a new exit. So.
That's weird. Because you would think going south, straight line, you'd get there fast, but then you have to go west or east. And that's what makes it so long.
Well, thanks. So tell me about your career as a photographer. Now, how did you get started? Now, I read on your website you've been taking pictures for all your life, right?
I've been taking pictures for a very long time. Got more serious, I guess, in the 70s with film. Of course, we only had film. Went to school for it, but I didn't do really well. I was mostly focusing on the football games and the concerts instead of doing my projects. I knew I had a natural feel for it, an instinct, and I think that's one of the most important things, to have that instinct, to know when and where and what's coming, and to have that feel for it. So,
now, did you immediately start as a wildlife photographer, or were you more general in the beginning?
Yeah,
or?
More in the beginning. I was always interested in nature, and I would try to do sunsets and do the wildlife, but like most of us, when you first start out, you think everything is so good because you captured it.
Yeah.
I captured that red-shouldered hawk, and now I look at those pictures and I have to laugh because they weren't sharp, the exposure was off, all the things that you learn later. But I just was always drawn to nature and the outdoors. I always have since I was a little kid. So, I grew up out in the country in Pennsylvania, so I've always liked being
from
outside.
Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Yeah.
Heather's from Pennsylvania. Now you're a musician as well.
Yeah, I'm a singer. Now that I can say I've been singing for a very, very long time. Upstairs in my brush.
Did you get formal training?
Yeah, I went to a school in Boston called Berkeley School of Music, and I studied voice and I studied guitar, and I've been singing for quite a while, off and on. I still love it. It's definitely another one of those gift things that I talk about. I think it's a God gift to be given that, as well as the instinct that I have for shooting wildlife.
Yeah, my son's a musician.
Oh, see?
He's out there, he's a touring musician. He's out there on the road all the time.
That's the thing. It's hard to make a living doing it unless you're out on the road all the time. Yep. And so for me now, it's just an extra thing to make extra money and vent that emotional stuff that I have, because that's what singing does for me.
Ah, okay.
It allows me to vent, and it allows you
Now,
to
do you play like
express
private parties or nightclubs, that kind of stuff?
Right now, I'm actually not really working singing as much. A few years back, it was what I was doing full time.
Okay.
And I would sing probably 6 nights a week in bars and tiki things and country clubs. You know, it was a mixture. I could do the rock and roll and the more laid-back country and stuff at the bars, and then I would dress up and do a country club gig that obviously paid more too. But so it's fun. I love it. It's just right now I haven't found the right group of people to work with.
Oh yeah, that's something.
that's
You can't you can't really do it by yourself.
Well,
Or
my
it's
dad
not
seems
easy.
to think differently. My dad wants me to just buy that thing and go in there. I see these women do it all the time. I said, but Dad, you don't understand. I don't want to just stand there to a box with a box of music and sing for people. I like the interaction of at least one other musician with me.
Yeah.
So when I was doing it full time, I was in a duo. So there was only 2 personalities to deal with, and it was very easy. And we got along great. Hi, Mike. We got along so well, and we just had a very good professional working relationship, and there wasn't a lot of drama because we only had the
Just
two
the
of
two
us,
of you.
and we made more money that way. So.
Yeah. Now, what about you're a wildlife photographer? Are you out there by yourself all the time, or do you prefer to go out with company? Or
when I first started shooting, I went out by myself all the time. And then when I moved to the Tampa area, I started meeting some people, and one day I met somebody out while I was shooting, and she knew who I was right away, and I was so amazed by that. But we became friends, and then I met her friends, and then I met, you know, down the road. And then when you go out and shoot, you see the same people that are out there all the time shooting, and you become friends. And it is fun when you shoot with a lot of people, but I also enjoy going out by myself. That's another one of my, you know, it's a stress relief. It's being out in nature and outside for me is just the best.
I'm with you. I love it. And we are so lucky to live right here in the Everglades.
So lucky to live in Florida.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
Except that we don't get the wildlife. We get the birds, we get the beautiful weather, we get the water stuff, but we don't get the things that you can get up in the mountains that I like.
Actually, that's a good question, because one of my questions was, why do you seem to focus on birds so much? Is that because you live in Florida and we have all the beautiful birds?
Probably a big reason why, absolutely. But I just always was drawn to that beauty, and they're just so cool. They're beautiful. I love to watch their behavior. I love to watch the interaction between, really any animals, the interaction between parent and child. And I feel like it just, it brings out the human emotions that we can relate to, and that's what I love. I love when we can relate it to human emotions, and it makes people feel something that we could feel about people, but it's with the animals.
It is true. That's a good point.
So it makes it even more special, I think, really, because a lot of people don't view animals with feelings or emotion or love, and I believe that they do.
I think now that there's Facebook,
absolutely.
You see all these cool pictures of animals doing cute things, and
it's awesome.
makes them more relatable.
Absolutely. That's what I go for. That's my goal, to get that picture, that image.
Now, do you have favorite spots to go and photograph birds or wildlife?
I used to when I lived on this coast, and I lived more north. Fort DeSoto was a great place.
That's where Artie Morris's favorite place to go.
Fort DeSoto for me was...
I've never been there.
Well, it's just a great place because it doesn't matter when you go, there's always something to shoot. You're going to always find something to shoot, and although it's changed a lot, it has changed a lot. We had some storms and weather that changed the whole landscape of everything, and so that was definitely one of my favorite places. And any rookeries, you know, I had a rookery right down the street from my house where I lived in that Tampa area, and nobody knew about it. It was, honestly, it was really crazy. It was behind a strip mall right down the street from where I lived, and you would drive by and you would see trees and trees, and then all of a sudden you would see an opening with a fence, and you would see nothing but white things all over the trees. White, white, white. And they were all the egrets and the little egrets, but when you got closer you could tell that there were a million different species of birds all living in this one tree place. It was so cool.
So you kind of hung out there.
I would go there all the time. I loved it until it got a little crazy. People started seeing it and realizing it was there, so they would pull up in their car and stop in the middle of the road and, hey, what are you shooting? You know, typical stuff. And So it kind of became a dangerous thing, I think, and they stopped letting people shoot there.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I know, but I moved away anyway. So now that I'm on the other coast, I've been going a lot to the wetlands on Green Cay, and I have a friend that lives here that you're going to be interviewing that comes to visit sometimes.
Okay.
And so we go to the wetlands together and we shoot. And, you know, I'm always looking for something. You know, if you keep your eyes open and you look for it, you can always find something that you can turn into amazing images, I think.
Well, I mean, we have amazing birds here.
Yeah.
All year round, too. I mean, and obviously there are more species in the winter, but...
Yeah. Well, this time of year is mockingbird baby season.
No kidding.
And I hear them everywhere I go. I hear the little babies squeak, squeak, you know, so when I hear them, I had a family, or two families really, nesting right around where I live now outside the apartment, and I heard the baby. So I went out looking for it, and there he was in the little bush. He was so cute. So I took a few pictures of him, and I used some of my photography, stock photography, so now it doesn't have to be that image, that cover image, you know. I can now be happy with taking so-so images because I know that they can sell for stock too.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
By the way, I have, at my parents' house, they have a mockingbird with babies, I assume, because I opened up the door to my van to get out of the car, and the mom started screaming her head off.
Has a nest.
But
Dive
where
bomb
I
you.
work at my own home, I work from home, even though I have the studio, I work at home because I work long hours, I want to be home. Anyway, there was a lot of noise out the window. I look out the window and there's a mockingbird fighting with a snake.
Oh, wow, there's my camera.
I know, but that was my decision.
Yeah.
Should I watch this or should I get up, go, you know, of course I don't have a camera handy or ready.
You never do.
So I decided to just watch. It didn't last that long.
No, so you would have missed it then. If you would have gone through the camera, you would have missed the whole thing.
That was kind of interesting, though. And then, but
it's always interesting.
It was pretty far away from the nest, though. That bird was just.
She was guarding.
She was just, yeah.
Or she was going to feed the babies. I can't imagine she would have taken that whole snake, but you
No,
never
that
know.
snake was bigger than she was.
Was it? It's so cool. Like when I see the mockingbirds dive bombing the big hawks and stuff, I have to laugh. I think it's so funny. These little birds dive bombing this big.
Those hucksters are
They
tough,
are.
man. Now, do you give us some bird photography tips? Because you do a lot of bird photography.
Gosh.
Now, you already gave me one before we started. You're like, the light to the back of you. I was like, oh, that sounds like Artie Morris.
Well, but it's true. And you know, honestly, I think I really learned that more from Artie Morris. Learning that from Artie Morris was what kept me to be focused on it. You know, because you know that as a photographer, you know that the light should be on your subject, so of course it has to be behind you. But he taught something about your shadow, about following the direction of your shadow.
Okay.
And following the direction of your shadow tells you what direction to shoot towards to have that perfect light situation. And so that has been a really good tip for me to have learned, you know, to share with people. The other thing that it takes a lot of people, including myself, a while to pay attention to your backgrounds. You know, I get all excited and see the baby birds and and not even realize that I'm shooting against, you know, a horrifying background. You have to think all of this ahead of time as you're making the image. So find the best background. A nice clean background will make your image so much better than a busy tree line or something like that.
Right. Or bright spots.
Or a bright spot, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, now bright spots can turn into a really awesome high key image if you want to do that, but you have to know your settings, you have to know what to do with that. You have to be able to shoot manual to do something like that.
Now, when you're doing bird photography, do you shoot in manual?
Oh yeah, I learned manual. I actually learned manual kind of later on myself. I first thought it was most important to have the proper speed. So if I had a fast enough speed, then my picture's going to be sharp.
Right.
So I would shoot on shutter priority. Well, then I'm realizing my images aren't sharp like I thought, well, because my depth of field wasn't great enough. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to shoot aperture priority. And then I was missing the speed part, so I finally just broke down and I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And I'm trying to think of James Shadle, that's who it was. James Shadle helped me out big time with my exposure. I went on a couple of his trips on the boat, and he helped me very much understand the histogram, understand what you're looking at your inside. And I knew that with film, but with digital, a lot of it changed. So, but when you go back to those basics, it's pretty awesome. I learned a hard lesson too. I tell people, never assume it's going to be there tomorrow.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, you know what? I've
that
had
is
enough.
a good.
I'll come back tomorrow. Well, too many times in my life, I had a year of constant reminders that I made a mistake, having expectations of that.
That you could do it again.
Yeah, because, I followed a sandhill crane nest for the full time of incubation. I followed for 32 days, I believe. Every single day I went to that nest to see. It was a beautiful spot, perfect shoot. The farm people gave me permission to be on the property. It was my own shoot. Every day I check, and she's still sitting. And finally I thought, wow, so I guess she has 2 dead eggs. Two eggs aren't going to hatch. And I was sad, and I left. I didn't go the next day, but the day after I went, and can you believe, they were gone. And there were the broken eggs in the nest. So I didn't know if they died. So I decided to go for a walk, and sure enough, she already took them off because they only stay on that nest for a day or so. She had them walking already, and they were way over in a swampy area, which I really did try to get to. But I had my waders on, and when it came to here, I was like,
yeah,
I think I'll pass.
Yeah,
but
especially by yourself. You could fall down in one of those holes and be dead, and nobody would know you.
Well, my camera would be sticking out of the water because I wouldn't get it wet. That's what they would find my big 500 lens.
That's so funny. Boy, that's really good advice, though.
Yeah, but I learned the hard way, and so if
no, but I haven't heard that from anybody. It's funny because that's one of my things when I'm teaching a wedding class. Take the shot, even if it's not perfect. Take the shot because you don't know what's going to happen. So my story is, we were hired to do one of the local florists' wedding, which is a real honor that somebody in the business chose me over all the other photographers, right? So I sent my assistant to go take a picture of the arch. And it was an arch to die for. They were putting millions of flowers. It was just gorgeous. Well, she got there, and the lady who was setting it up said, oh, don't take a picture. It's not done. So she didn't. And then this huge wind came and knocked it over, and we didn't have any pictures. And, she should have taken pictures of it. Even though it wasn't ready, she could have gotten, especially because that lady worked for the guy who was, for the groom. So that would have been interesting to him.
And then if it gets better, then you get another picture, and then you just discard the first picture.
Exactly.
That's kind of how I relate it to when I'm coming up on a subject, especially something I've never seen before. As soon as I see it, I'm going to start shooting because I at least want to get something.
Yeah.
It may not be the shot, but it'll be a shot of something that I really wanted to have. And then I get closer and shoot more and get closer, and then because of digital, you just discard all the other stuff, and the close-up shot is what you keep.
And now you said since you're doing stock, probably some of those medium pictures would be better for stock.
I'm going back in a lot of my files, and I have a million files. If you saw the external drives that I have,
you're probably like me.
Of raw images that I probably don't even know that I have, because I have trouble throwing some of them away.
Yeah.
Even when I have 5 of the same exact picture, what if that one's sharper? I shouldn't throw, So what I do now is I zoom in on the eyeball, if it's a bird, and I check to see which one of those eyeballs is the sharpest with the little zoom in tool on my thing. And the best one I give it a 5-star, and I delete the rest.
Do you really?
I just have to do it. And if something's out of focus and it's a killer shot and I'm just sick to my stomach over it, I have to delete it.
Yeah, because then you'll obsess over it.
I save it for a while. I obsess a little bit, and then I delete it because it's like, Cheryl, don't keep it. It's just going to make you sad.
Now, Now, how do bird photographers get the eye sharp when they're flying birds? Okay, so
It's difficult. You have to put that focal point on the eye, and that's really.
And how do you do that when they're flying?
Very hard for me to do. I'm not a really great in-flight photographer because I don't practice it. I'm sure if I practiced it enough, I give a lot of credit to those people that get those shots.
They amaze me.
But yes, you have to pan. I mean, you have to find that eyeball, and you just have to pan with it. And
you're a Canon shooter, right?
I'm a Canon
girl. You sure?
CanonGirl1@outlook.com.
Now you guys know her email address. Don't stalk her.
Yeah, I took CanonGirl1. I was surprised. I'm like, it's free. I'm gonna take it. But it's Outlook. It's not .com.
Oh yeah.
So yes, I shoot Canon. I've been shooting Canon since the very beginning, and I've gone back and forth. I see Nikon people, and I think, man, would I do better with Nikon? Should I have a Nikon? I think It's not about the camera. It's really not.
Well, plus you can't switch
I
once
don't.
you
I
have
too
all
much
those
money
lenses.
Invested. Yes, I have too much money invested, and I really do like Canon. I like the results that I've gotten, and like I said, I started with Canon, so I just never felt the reason to switch.
Same with me. I started, I was an assistant for 3 years before I even bought a camera. So I had 3 years of experience on a Canon.
Awesome.
So
that's great.
yeah, so I never tried anything else. When I started teaching, I was terrified because the Nikons are so different. Well, now they seem the same because now the mirrorless are so different.
Sure. Yeah.
Last night somebody came to the class with a Leica.
Oh, I've seen
And they said, oh, it's just like a Lumix. I thought, oh, I have a Lumix, no problem. Well, we had a heck of a time figuring out how to just put it in the manual mode.
Jeez, yeah.
It was something else.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, now that I've been working with all these different cameras, the DSLRs are easier to use.
Yeah,
They're meant to
definitely-
shoot in manual,
Yep.
so your hands go in the right place so that the dials are right there.
Manual has saved me so much. I used to be the other way around. I think, no, I don't want to switch to manual because I don't want to miss these shots. What if I don't have it set right and I don't get the shots? But you learn after a while that if you want the best shot and you want it designed to how you want to see it, you have to work the exposure. And
That's my very first class. We have a course called the 4 Weeks to Proficiency in Photographer. If you heard my commercial. But the first class is just shooting in manual.
Yeah.
Because once you get that, everything else is easier, in my opinion.
well, it's the same thing as shooting in RAW. It took me a while to switch over to RAW from JPEGs, but just the image quality is so much better with RAW. The files are huge. But that's why I have so many external drives. But
Now, when did you go digital? Do you remember? Were you an early? Were you an early adapter?
2007, actually.
So you were not an early adapter.
No. Well, what happened was I shot film in the 70s, and then I got the music business and the photography. So I kind of let go of the photography, was doing the music, and it was kind of a back and forth thing. And then as a hairdresser, I'm a retired hairdresser. I was doing this one woman's hair, and she said, I'm a photographer. I said, oh, well, I'm a photographer too. I haven't done it for a long time, but... So she started showing me some of her work, and then she asked me to be a model in one of the things she was doing, a project, and me and a few other of my coworkers were modeling for this project. And I got to see it from the photographer's point when she was shooting them, and I felt the excitement, and I felt the composition, and I felt everything. So I got that bug back, and I went out and got a little tiny digital camera. And the next thing I knew, I was buying a zoom lens. Then I found the L series lenses. And forget it. I was poor for the rest of my life. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. I really, really do enjoy it. I wish I had more time to get out and shoot, but because I have to work full time now.
Yeah.
When I was married, it was easy. I didn't have to work all the time, so I didn't have to shoot on weekends. I could shoot during the weekdays. Now I'm stuck with everybody on the weekends. I swore I would never shoot on the weekends. There's just too many people to get in the way.
But you got a real job
and
now.
then I get angry with people.
Yeah.
Walk right through the nesting skimmers on the beach and don't even think twice about the babies running.
Yeah.
That upsets me.
Right. It's better if you're not. If you don't have to witness it, it's better.
But they just don't know. They just don't know.
Yeah.
They're ignorant to it, and some of them, of course, really don't care, I'm sure, but it's an ignorance, and that's why I really like the people that do the conservation photography. They make people aware, and that's one of the reasons I do it. I do it because I see these things, and I know not everybody is born with the same sight as far as being able to see it and acknowledge it. So for me to get it on film, and then people see it, they say, wow, I never knew that existed, or oh, wow, I never, they get to see things, intimate things that we get to see as photographers because we sit and we watch and we wait, and that's a big part. I have no patience at all in my life. I just don't have patience, but I have patience for my photography.
Really?
Yep, I could sit and wait forever for that baby to pop its head out from underneath the mama.
Now, when you go out and shoot, how long do you stay?
It depends, you have to go with light. Oh, that's the other thing, the other advice that, if it wasn't for getting on forums and meeting other photographers and being open to criticism and constructive tips and stuff, I wouldn't have learned as much as I have. But, I used to belong to one forum that was all candy-coated. Everybody, oh, great shot, great shot, great shot. Then I got on actually Artie Mars's site, and people were telling me bad things, and I was like, oh, what is that? But they were being honestly critical, and I learned so much. So that's another tip I would say: join a photography forum, because especially a good one that you're going to get honest critiques, because you're going to learn. You don't need taps on the back. I mean, that's nice too,
right?
Or pat on the back, but
we have a Facebook group, the Understand Photography Facebook group.
That's great.
But we will critique, because both Joe and I are, qualified judges for photography, but we don't critique unless somebody asks, because most people don't want critiquing. We're learning. They just want us to pat them on the back, like you said. It's like you could learn so much if you
learn. I'm sure Artie Mars will tell you that there is stuff he can learn. He's been around doing this forever. There's just, I always believe that you just have to stay open to what somebody has to say, and if you don't agree with it, well, what I would do is I would go look at their work. That's how I did it. Someone would say something to me, I would look at their work, and I would think, wow, these people do know what they're doing. So I would listen to.
But you're so smart to put yourself out there, because having your work critiqued is one of the best learning experiences.
No, I learned so much because of doing that. I really did. And in getting your work out there, I was talking about that girl that inspired me to get back out.
Oh, yeah.
She also is the reason really that I ever got published, because I would sit on my stuff and I'd say, oh, I really should enter this contest, or I should do. She said, Cheryl, you need to get your stuff out there. If you don't get it out there, nobody knows you exist. So that's how I
So tell me about your first published picture.
Well, I entered because of her.
Okay.
I entered my egret shot that I just love that
Is this
shot.
it? Oh, wow.
It's the egret on the black background
of Popular Photography.
I
on the cover.
This is a funny thing. I entered the contest, and weeks later, or whatever, I got an email that said, "Hi, Cheryl. This is so and so from Popular Photography. I'm going to be the one sending you your check for the first place." And I'm like, "What? Nobody told me that I got first place," and so I wasn't sure if it was real. And then another day later, I get another email that says, "This is so-and-so, and I'm going to be the one paying you for the October cover issue that you're..." And I'm like, cover? I didn't know that either. So when I got this and saw the cover, I was blown away, honestly. Very
now,
humble,
was this the only thing that you submitted? I mean, did you submit to a bunch of different magazines and then got this one?
No, I sent to Popular Photography. I must have, I don't even know what else I put in. Probably 3 images they let you send in. And I had no idea that was going to happen, let alone to get the cover. So, honestly, that really catapulted a lot, because people then saw that and asked if they could publish this. So then the second thing happened. I got a call. I'm leaving Fort DeSoto shooting, and I'm still looking in the sky because I see frigate birds, and I'm like, I'm ready to pull over, And I get a call from Germany, and I'm thinking, should I answer this call? I answered anyway. I wasn't going to. And it's a woman in Germany asking if they can use another one of my images for some German magazine. They found it on a National Geographic online site that you can put your stuff.
Oh, okay, right.
So, again, I was like, are you kidding me? So I got that published. And then the National Geographic thing, that was like...
How'd that happen?
That was another email. Hi, my name is Marilyn, and we were hoping to use this daisy picture of yours in one of our books. Do you happen to have a larger file that we could see? I'm trying to think of where she saw it. I don't know where she saw it at first, but so I submitted it and I waited and waited. She said, "Well, it hasn't gone into print. We'll know better when it's ready to go to print if you're going to make it in or not." So I honestly didn't know, and I never heard back from her till the book came in the mail. And I opened the book and I have the full 2-page. And so I get home. I'm not kidding you. I get home. And I opened this book, and I just was jumping up and down because I just couldn't believe that I got a 2-page thing in National Geographic book. So for me, that was
wow.
the biggest...
This is not National Geographic magazine. This is National Geographic book. Yeah. This book is called Visions of Earth. Oh my gosh!
So
you have a 2-page
that to me was like, are you kidding?
spread.
Still, like, it took me, but I'm published under my married name. That's the only downfall. A lot of my publications are under my married name.
Oh.
So this last National Geographic, I'm so happy. Before they changed the company over, I got one more publication, and that was the same picture from that German magazine.
And this book is called Stunning Photographs.
This is the other one, and this I'm real happy about because this is one of my most favorite images, and the most important thing about it to me is that I was blessed enough to be there at that moment when that baby kissed his mama on the cheek.
Where was this taken?
Her mama, that was a girl. This was honestly Larry Park Zoo.
I love that zoo.
At the right time with my big lens, I zoomed in on the intimacy of the mom and the baby, and she kissed, and mom made that thing with her eyes, and I knew I had a good shot. This
is a great shot. So this is in Stunning Photographs, and this does say Cheryl Arena.
Yes.
Arena. Sorry.
The only one. That's okay.
I keep wanting
It's
to.
really okay.
This is amazing, though.
So yeah, so it's
Stunning
been a
photographs.
journey for me.
Well, we'll put the names of these books in the show notes so people can look them up. Beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty neat to have it. And I'm also really grateful I got published in paper.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
so many people do all the digital stuff anymore, and to me, having a book and open it and seeing my pictures is just something.
There's
so
nothing
cool
like
about it.
I agree with that completely. And these are National Geographic books, not the magazine.
I was telling you, I'm still pinching. I got this big old bruise on my butt because I stopped pinching myself. But it's true. That first one, it took me forever to get over it. So really neat.
So do you have advice for photographers we have a lot of viewers and listeners who they want to get published.
You have to submit. You just have to put it out there. I've been
How
very
did you
lax
figure out
on it.
where to put them? Well, obviously National Geographic.
I didn't never expect to get in a National Geographic book. That to me, that wasn't the plan when I initially sent those images out. I initially did that because I went on their online thing. And they have a daily dozen, they call it the daily dozen, and they pick the daily dozen photographs that the editors like the most. And then if they really like it, you'll get put in the little book, I think, under a little place, where they call the daily dozen. But for me, I got the call from her, one of the images that were on my gallery, on Nat Geo.
So you can set up your own gallery on Nat Geo?
Yeah.
Is it, what is it a website? Is that?
It's a website. It's the National Geographic website, but now things have changed with National Geographic, and so I don't know if they're still
doing that,
going out and finding people that aren't.
I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure they. I know that you can have your own galleries there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, you can still. I'm talking about people. I'm talking about them getting a hold of people to publish in the books. I don't know if they're doing it differently now than they did with that, but yeah, that's still there. And they've actually changed it a lot. There's a lot of photographers now I see on there.
So that's one way. What else?
Contests. Entering contests. Join NAMPA. I got
NAMPA is North American Nature Photography's Association, or photography.
I was a member of that for a very long time. Right now, I had to drop a lot of my memberships just financially right now, because anyway. But joining NAMPA really helped me too, because then I was able to get my photography insurance. I needed very badly because I did dump a 300 millimeter and a 40D in the Tampa Bay before I got my insurance.
Oh.
I was out with my friend in our waders shooting little grebes, getting right up against them level with the water, walking. And tip number 2, do not, and James Shadle shared this with me too and it helped me. Don't go walking in the water without a tripod. The tripod helps with balance, and I did not know that. So I was walking freeform, holding my camera up. I tripped on the oyster beds in my waders because they were a little too big for me, my feet, and I lost my footing, and I just went down. And I tried. I was like,
my God.
So all of that went underwater. Then that's how I ended up getting the insurance through NAMPA. But so anyway, I was saying,
you got the insurance before or after?
NAMPA offers insurance. I got it after.
Oh.
I had to. I didn't have insurance. I got it immediately after. So, but yeah, they offer insurance where if you join NAMPA, you can get a good thing on photography insurance. That's really important.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go through
the PPA is the Professional Photographers of America. They automatically, with your membership, you get $15,000 of equipment insurance.
That's beautiful.
So it comes with your membership. I don't know how much NAMPA costs, though.
NAMPA was at that time $100 to join NAMPA, but then the insurance was
something else, yeah.
At least $300. You had to go with a minimum of $300.
Yeah. PPA is expensive. It's like $350, I think, a year. So
it's kind of leveled out. Then,
yeah,
sort of.
yeah.
Although I have more than
I haven't joined
$15,000. My camera,
I know.
my lens alone.
I know you still have to get
So
extra.
crazy.
Extra.
Crazy
Yeah.
how
So,
much
and what's your big lens? What's your favorite lens?
My favorite lens.
Okay.
I don't have.
Ah.
My big lens is a 500, the first 500 that came out, so it's not as light as the new one. I think I would like to have a 600, a new 600.
Oh,
Very
wow.
lightweight and just that little bit more reach.
Now, when you say lightweight, it's not really light.
It's a lot lighter than the 500.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've felt
that's why you got those nice muscles.
Well, it's funny though. I bruise every time I get done from a photo shoot. Days later, I have a big bruise on my shoulder because of the tripod and the
Carrying
thing.
it.
And a lot of it has to do with the Wimberley head. I think, however, I have it adjusted. There's a bar that hits me, so if I fix it just right, it doesn't hit me. But last time I shot, I ended up with bruises. So.
Oh boy! Now, do you always shoot with the Wimberley?
If I'm using a tripod, yeah.
Do you always shoot with a tripod?
No, I don't always shoot with a tripod. I like hand holding. There's such a freedom to hand holding, but that lens gets very heavy. And when you're waiting for a bird to do something and you're standing holding that up for a while, it gets pretty heavy. It gets very heavy.
Yeah.
But
But you feel like free enough with the gimbal head to...
yeah, I like how the gimbal head moves. I still have to work on panning those flying birds on a tripod. It's pretty difficult, but, having the tripod, for instance, that picture, actually it wasn't that photo of the orangutan, it was another orangutan shot that I have. I realized it was shot at like a 60th of a second with that 300 lens. It might even have been a 30th. I can't remember, but it was very, very slow. And it came out extremely sharp, and I know it's because I had the tripod.
Right.
And I happened to probably get lucky in that shot because, they don't all
I can't. I follow that rule of thumb where your shutter speed should be at least as fast as the length of your lens.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a commercial shoot this week and brought one of my associate photographers with me. He had his 70 to 200 lens, and he was shooting it at an 80th of a second handheld. And it was so good, though.
Wow, that's a good
it was
steady
so
hand.
sharp. But what he said was you need to get the brick underneath. You need to get the double battery thing, and that helps you hold it steady. Well,
I I push it against my face. I've learned from something I read.
Yep.
To push that camera against your face.
Well, that's when I'm teaching. I'm like, you need to hold your camera correctly.
Yes.
But I had all that extra battery pack, but it's so heavy. And as I get older,
I'm up there
I'm
too.
like, I got rid of that. I got rid of, it's like.
Well, the girlfriend that I was telling you about that comes to see me, she has this cool baby stroller, and she pushes her stuff around in this really big wheel stroller. She goes on the beach with it and everything, and she just puts her lens in there. She has a 600. She puts her lens in there. She puts all her stuff in there, and occasionally I get to hitch a ride.
Yeah. Well, I used to have a similar. It was a cart, but it looked like a stroller.
Mm-hmm.
But now I have something better. It looks like a wagon, but it's got those big beach wheels.
Nice, yeah.
But it folds up.
Nice.
It is so nice. I got it at Bed Bath & Beyond, but they have it at Amazon too, I know. It was like $130, and it is amazing.
I get stubborn. I just don't want to deal with all that. So I'll be like, I'll take the bruise. Throw it over my shoulder.
I think for nature photography, I'm not lugging that thing out.
She doesn't, and honestly, it does seem to make it a lot easier, but somebody has to push it. So you always end up pushing it.
For me, I do it for family portraits because I'm going out on the beach and I'm bringing props and I'm bringing lights and I'm bringing,
That's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff. And in fact, every time I look at it, I think, I can't believe I used to carry this stuff. Yeah. I used to just carry it all.
Well, I have a pack that goes around my waist because I have neck issues. So when I used to wear the straps, like a bag around my shoulder, or I used to wear a vest, but I found that even though I'm wearing a vest and putting things in my pockets, it's still pulling down on my neck, and I was having problems with my neck and shoulder. So now I use a bag that goes around my butt, and it's a lot easier on my neck.
I have a bag like that, and I love it.
Yeah, I love mine.
Because I don't like stuff. I'm lucky because I have these huge, broad shoulders, so that they don't slip. The cameras don't slip. I was so surprised when people are like, oh, they slip right off my
No.
shoulders, because I got like football player shoulders.
Yeah, I get shoulders
They don't
too,
slip,
and
so I don't have to put anything around my neck, because I don't like that either.
No, just all of that weight pulling down. It's especially with this lens.
That's interesting, though, because I've never tried a vest. The vest
I
actually
used
pulled
to
down
love
your
my
neck,
vest.
too?
Well, think about it. A vest fits kind of like a cross, like a racerback bra, if you think about it. Because your arms go in it, and it's got that back that goes like this a lot of times. Well, I think the weight was just pulling down on my shoulders and giving me neck injury. So
That's interesting.
I have an injury from a long time ago from an accident. And
Me
it just
too. I got
flares up.
whiplash,
Yeah.
and you don't ever recover from
No.
that. So
I didn't realize it was that bad. Like, I can't even wear necklaces really anymore. I get a headache.
wow,
It's kind of a bummer.
that is a bummer. I just got a new necklace.
I like it.
Now you use Lightroom to edit?
Actually, I use Photoshop. I am not very, as a lot of, I believe, artistic people. I'm
You don't
not
like
very
the
good.
technical stuff.
I actually hate the technical stuff. I hate learning it. Until I get a little bit of a groove going, I don't like learning it. Once I kind of get it, and then I can start playing with it and learning that way, I'm okay.
When I was one of the first professional photographers in this area to go digital, and I remember about 2002 saying, I don't want to learn anything else for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
I was
true.
so tired of
I
learning.
hate getting a new phone.
And
because I have to
everything
learn
was hard for me
Yeah.
because I'm not a technical
Sure.
person, and it was so hard. And that's what I just told you. Now I'm teaching, and I have to learn all these cameras, and it's like, oh my God, I'm doing it, and I can do
Good.
it.
And you can do it. You just have to
But
do
it hurts,
It
my
hurts to do
brain.
It hurts to get the brain out of bed to even do it,
But now when you use Bridge for the rating of the
I
photos?
use Bridge for reading the raws, and I have CS6, and I have Photoshop. I took advantage of when they sold the whole thing before you had to have a membership, because
Right.
I've been using it for forever, and I already had a thing where I could upgrade, and then they offered that buy everything. I forget how it
Sweet,
works.
sweet.
So I still have all that, and now you have to have a membership to do Photoshop. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad I don't have to do it that way. But yeah, I'm not a big editor. I really just, it's a fight with myself because I want the photo to be natural. I don't want to,
Right.
like, for instance, I'm not going to be one that's going to put something on a different background or something to that effect. Now, if I have a really good shot, which I did disclose in a magazine that I was published in out of the UK with that same orangutan baby shot, they asked me what my biggest hurdle with that was, and what it turned out to be was a rope from the zoo that went across the page. And I had to figure out how to clone and rebuild that image to take that rope out, because that moment of that kiss is real. There's
Yeah.
nothing fake about that moment, and for me, it was worth doing whatever I had to do to have that moment sealed. And that turned out to be one of my greatest publications.
Awesome.
So.
Well, now they have people all over the world who do all that stuff for you.
No, I like to do. I don't like doing it. That's actually part of the fun too. I'm pretty good at editing when it comes to people. I've learned. Like, I do people shoots sometimes. I haven't done anything in a long time, but I've learned how to really make the skin better, and I've learned how to take a little off here and there.
Yeah.
Tricks like that, because I did do some bodybuilding photographs. I used to do bodybuilding. I was
wow.
pretty much a gym
Holy
rat for a
cow.
while.
You have a very interesting background.
I like doing things. I like, it's fun. And so for me, I trained for such a long time. I finally, when I turned 40, I said, you know what, I'm going to get in the best shape I ever have been in. I'm going to do a competition. And I did do it. I succeeded. I did two actual shows, but it was very difficult. It was way harder than I thought. If it was just the working out, I probably would have been fine, because I was an animal to do that. I wanted to. But the eating part, I'm Italian. They took all my food away, and I was miserable. And I remember towards the end of my second show, I was miserable. And my trainer said to me, he said, Cheryl, you're miserable because you have no sugar in your body. Sugar makes you happy. And so just don't worry about it. Pretty soon you'll have sugar after the show. Actually, the day of the show, you get sugar because it helps blow up your muscles. But anyway, so yeah, I did a few shoots, personal shoots with some great bodybuilders that I knew, and I did a lot of editing, neat stuff, like this one girl, some of them I did very tasteful nudes just to show the artistic part of the body, and I put wings on her. So she was kind of like a butterfly sort of kind of thing, posed very cool bodybuilding wise, and then she had these big wings on her back, and so I did some neat things like that. Done a few weddings for people I knew. I can get caught up into that too. The wedding part, capturing the love story, that was fun, but it's just too much stress for me. I stopped doing hair for a reason.
Oh yeah, hair would be.
I guess I'm trying to de-stress as I get older. It's not working really well these last few years, but I'm coming back around, and I've been getting out shooting more and doing the things that inspire me.
That to me, being out in nature is like one of the best. I'm so lucky because, like we said, we live here in Florida, and then I have a friend with a boat.
Yeah,
that's nice.
But I do live near the beach.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
We do.
And then I have a friend who takes me out in the Everglades. We just go out, and we go out in the middle of nowhere.
That's something I've not done, and that is so
And we
awesome.
wade, and we're with the snakes and the alligators. We don't go in.
One of my friend wades where alligators are. That's something I have not.
We have to walk around them a lot. It's kind of scary.
I walk around them, but get in the water knowing that there's a big old alligator in there.
Yeah, scary.
I don't care about have waders on or whatever. I don't know. It's the way that they kill that just freaks me out, and I don't know.
They drown their victims.
Drown you stick you under a log and let you get soft. that thought is just horrifying to me. So, but I did love going out into the ocean in my waders. I really had fun.
Oh,
we would go on the Courtney Campbell Causeway and go in the wintertime.
Near Tampa?
In Tampa.
Okay.
When the little horned grebes would come, they'd migrate through. And so we would, and there was one day, I think it was the day I dumped my gear actually. It was so flat and beautiful. The water was just perfectly flat and blue, and it was just, when I have that scenario, I'm in heaven.
Oh.
You were asking me how long I shoot. Because of lighting, you can't shoot very long.
Right.
So photo shoot in nature is sunrise. Be there before sunrise and get that first light. The first light is just the most beautiful. It is glorious, beautiful light. Nothing at all like it. And then you can shoot for a couple hours, and then the light gets too harsh. So then we go back out later in the afternoon for a couple hours before sunset.
Sunset.
Yeah.
We have. You'll have to watch the show I had with Diana Kalea. She's a bird photographer. She goes out every day, I think. But just it's the
I used to
thing.
When I was married. I shot all the time. My husband forgot who I was. I was out all the time.
Oh.
And I loved it.
But I
loved it.
She'll bring people out there and then they go to breakfast. It's a very social thing. They kind of do their own thing when they're taking pictures. Well, she's the only one who goes every day, though. She's very dedicated. She's making, she's just in the last maybe 2 years decided, I'm going to make a living at this. This is going to be my career. And she's doing really well.
Really?
Yeah.
I know
you have to be really serious about it. And that's the problem with most photographers is they don't want to do the business part of it.
Well, for me,
because that's
it's
not
struggle,
fun for us.
You still have to live, though. For me, I still have to survive at the same time. So, the time that I have to spend working takes away from my first light days. My afternoon. Now, I'm better now because my job takes me first thing in the morning to earlier in the afternoon. So I can now go out for sunset shoots. But my favorite was always sunrise. I always just loved to get up with the world. Get up with nature, wake up with nature when nobody else was around, and there's just a feeling when you're out there and the sun is coming up and the birds are doing their thing and you smell the air and you feel that silence, and it's just, for me, I just love it.
I want to, but I don't like to get up early.
Well, now that I have a job that I get up early, I don't like it either.
I want to.
I want to.
You know what I want that I have never been able to succeed in getting is a foggy morning landscape. And so Joe Fitzpatrick and, four of us went up to Dead Lakes, Florida, up in the Panhandle. It's up north. We're going to start doing photo trips in that area because it's amazing. Anyway, Dead Lakes, I said, it was like a 45-minute drive from where we were staying. I said, we're getting up early. We're going to be there before sunrise because we're going to get this beautiful mist and it was like the worst, ugliest day. And we were planning the photo trip, so we couldn't go back because Joe kept saying, we got to go back, we got to go. I'm like, we can't. We have too many other things to do right now. But that place always has that beautiful mist in the morning, except the day we were there.
Well, that's why I said you can't always count on, that's another thing I learned too. You don't get the same thing twice.
Yeah.
And you think you will, you have this great shoot with the baby birds in their nest, and then you go out the next day and it's usually something totally different.
Well, there's a shot that Joe took of the Pine Island fishing shacks, and I love that. I love that picture so much. I was like, my friend took us out on the boat, and we were like, and I was thinking, there could be no better shot than the one Joe took. And I was trying to recreate it, just copy off of him and everything. And then our friend with the boat took the most amazing shot of that fishing shot.
No way.
He got all these birds in the foreground. I mean, I was like, I was there. I didn't see that shot. Oh,
that's the fun of shooting with somebody else.
Yeah. Boy, then you're just jealous. Because everybody seems to be better than me. And then they say that about me. I know.
The excitement of shooting with somebody else or a group of people when something happens and all of a sudden all you hear is everybody's firing off, and then you breathe and go, wow, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Something happens so cool. And that's the fun part of being with other photographers.
Yeah.
Bouncing that kind of stuff off each other.
We have at Understand Photography, we host a photo walk, a free photo walk every month. And we come almost free because we don't charge, but sometimes there's an admission charge. But shooting with other photographers, and then they post their pictures on our site, and everybody shares, and it's like it's a good education for stretching your creative mind too, because you're like, I was just right there, and I didn't think to get down low or tilt my camera or whatever.
I have learned that shooting with other people too. I have a habit of getting stuck where I am. I'll get stuck on that bird, and I'm just I don't want to look around and see what's better because I'm like focused, but I had to teach myself to, like I was saying, look at your background, look at the whole picture. Will it be better if you're over there? Maybe the sun angle is a little off, but, is the background better? Is that bird going to pop? Is there a catch light in the eyes? You have to change your angle to get the catch light.
And I think sometimes when you shoot a lot or when you have a lot of experience, you forget. Because you get
excited.
Well, for me, I get into, I don't want to call it a rut, but it's like I know these certain things are going to work.
Yeah.
And so this is what I do. And this is like 10, 12 years ago, I used to have an assistant, and he had all these cool, creative, weird shots, right? And I'm always jealous of when I'm working weddings. My assistant has time to do the cool shots.
Sure.
I have to get all this stuff.
Have two shots.
But he was he would like, really good at like tilting his camera, and it was so funny. He'd be going in my ear, tilt.
Yeah, see, that doesn't come to me naturally. Doing people just doesn't come to me. I don't feel it. Like I have instincts when it comes to the nature and wildlife photography that I feel. Like I just know that bird's going to do this, or I just feel it. I can always usually feel it. But with people, I have a harder time getting creative.
Yeah. Well, it's experience too, though, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think, in fact, I tell the story of a friend of mine, photographer. She is a left-brain photographer. She's like organized. Come on, what kind of photographer is organized? But she's so left-brain, but she's got the most creative wedding pictures because she has all this experience. So she's just, and then, experience helps you become creative sometimes too. Absolutely. Sometimes you get in the rut. Sometimes it helps you because you know this will work. Let's try it this way or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So what about you? So now are you your spark has been reignited in photography.
Reignited. I've been loading more stock images.
Now where do you sell your stock images?
I am on Alamy. Some people call it Alamise. A-L-A-M-Y.
Okay.
And
is it hard to get started doing that?
Most stock companies, you have to pass a test first. Like maybe they'll ask you questions that are related to how the images are taken, and they'll ask you to submit maybe 3 images, and they'll judge by that if they want to use you. So you have to have really sharp. They have to be good pictures. They have to be big files. They have to be very sharp. they're not sharp. They won't pass QC. You can't edit them, really. Now Alamai now does have a thing where you can do digital editing, but they ask you, is this digitally edited or manipulated? Not edited. Like, I'll edit all my images to a degree because, you know, you want to balance out the light and get it right. And you know, change a little tweak here and there, which, you know, is fine, I think. And some of the bigger contests, like nature photographers, that actually was a big break for me, too. For some reason, they like my images as I get in that book a lot when I enter, but I've never made it to the Smithsonian, so I'm still on fire. Last book that I didn't enter last year. That's the other thing. I'm going to start entering more contests.
Okay.
Get back out. But the last one that I got 3 images in that book, and I said, I'm going to go to the Smithsonian. How can I not? I have 3 images got in the book. But it was their 20th anniversary edition. So they brought out people from way years back. And a bunch of my friends that I know off of Facebook, you know, fellow photographers, made it to the Smithsonian that year, and I was so bummed out because I really wanted to be there when they were there.
Now who is this that puts
It's called Nature. Is it Nature? Wait a minute. What am I saying? Nature Photographers. Boy, do you believe I can't even remember what this magazine is? It'll come to me.
Yeah, because I was thinking that doesn't
Nature's
sound right.
Best. Nature's Best.
Is that
the
what it's called?
Windland Rice Nature's Best. Yes. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank. It's a pretty big contest. I didn't
Okay,
bring one of
obviously.
those. I would have loved to have shown it to you, but and a lot of people from this area that I was living in were getting in together. And
Wow.
the whole world. Like, it was pretty neat to
That is
celebrate
cool.
that, hey, so-and-so you got in too, like, congratulations. And you'd see it on Facebook. People that did get in would list all their fellow photographer friends that made it in too. And it's just kind of a neat camaraderie when you both can get in there.
Yeah.
A bunch of you get in there. But so that's my goal. I joined again. I entered again this year. I don't feel it's my best work. I think I've already given them some of my real best work, but I had a couple good shots, so you never know.
Hey, that's awesome.
I'm still grateful. I have to be grateful that, you know, they actually saw something that I got put in more than once. So, but again, under Molinar. I don't know how many things I'm published under Arena, but it's okay. It's, you know, it's more for me. I've learned that too. It's not about ego. It's not about who can I be better than, who can I, you know, I have to be the winner. I never had that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
I'm not real competitive.
No, I'm not either.
But I like to be recognized and especially like to get paid for what I love to do.
Yes.
So for me, it has more come down to when it comes to magazines and getting my name out there, whatever, is making money.
Yeah.
You know, because doing what I love. So the recognition and the money is,
That's where it's at.
yeah.
I like it. So where can people find you? Do you have a website or?
Yes, my website is my name, CherylArenaPhotography.com.
Okay.
And I've had issues with the website lately with the name. I think I left a domain run out or something, and I didn't even know it. For a few months, you couldn't get on my site. So I think I fixed it, but it still might be called Seek the Light Photography. But if you put in Cheryl Arena, it'll get you there.
Yeah, I think I saw it said Seek the Light.
Seek
But
the Light
Cheryl
Photography.
Arena
But my name,
photography.com
Mhm.
is your website. Are you on Facebook too? As a business
I am
or
on Facebook,
personal?
No, not as a business.
Okay.
If I was going to do that, I would have done it a long time ago, and I didn't get on that train when it happened, when people were saying, like my page, and now I don't really go on Facebook much anymore.
I don't, you know what? Facebook, they're so smart. They're so smart.
Sure.
They got everybody addicted.
Sure.
Like my page, and now they don't show your posts to anybody unless you pay
Well, they
them.
want you to pay. It's
Yeah.
business.
So,
For me, Facebook started for connecting with people, old music school, college friends,
Yeah.
high school friends, ex-boyfriends that I didn't need to hear from. But even family, you know, relatives that I never see. And I love Facebook for that reason. I was able to see people that I never knew if I would see them again.
I know, me too.
And then it turned into, you know, photography and more people that I knew that were photographers. So after I got past that paragraph that they said Facebook owns everything, I wouldn't post pictures for the longest time because there was some paragraph that said Facebook owns your images or something like that. And I was like, no, these are mine.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know what the logistics was. And then I started seeing big-time photographers posting, and I thought, well, they're not afraid. So, and what am I afraid of? I'm not Picasso. It's like I started telling myself, like, what do you think you're Picasso? Like, your pictures are worth of it. No. So if somebody wants to steal my photo, they're going to steal it.
Yeah.
You know, what can you do? One time, this is what I don't like, though. One time I Googled my name, and I'm going through the things, and this agnostic website comes up, and there is a picture of a cross burning on this website. Well, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. And I'm okay with what people want to do, but they decided to take my picture off of the internet and use it on their website as an image of unconditional love, the baby orangutan kissing the mommy. And when I saw that and I saw what it was on, I was very upset. And I told the guy, I said, listen, you know, your website is what it is, but I don't want my image to be on there.
And they took it down?
So he took it down. But, you know, you don't know what people...
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a million images out there that people don't know.
Well, they have, you know, I don't know if they're apps or whatever, but they have ways to track your images now.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of the big-time photographers, they make money off of it.
Yeah.
Like, they find out people are using and they just charge them. They send them a bill, and if it's a big company, they just pay it.
Good. They should pay it.
You know?
You know, it's like anything else. You know, I used to do hair. I don't expect my friends to say, hey, can you cut my hair? And I don't expect for them to think that I'm going to want to cut everybody's hair for free. This is what I do. And
exactly.
So I need to make my money from it. You know, there are certain things that I will give my photos for when it's like National Wildlife Federation. I used to enter their contests, and sometimes they would ask you, do you want to donate this photo? And if it wasn't one of my favorites, I would donate it. And you know, but you know what I found out? One of the ones I donated, on that Google search, found another image of things being sold by a company. And they were like, you know, computer mouse pads and coffee mugs. And one of my images, and I wrote to them, asked them, how on earth did you get my image that I'm not getting any money out of these things that you're selling? They stole it. They didn't steal it. They took it off of that National Geographic site because apparently you can. So they told me that because I donated it. That's the one image I donated.
Still not true.
So that's what they ended up doing with it. I guess they make their money by doing that.
Oh, so it was the same company that you donated it to?
No, I donated it to National Wildlife Federation.
And a different company was making money. Well, no, that is illegal.
So I don't know how it happened.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got my image.
But they wouldn't take it down?
No, they were selling things with my image on it.
Oh, you got to send them
T-shirts, I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Cease and desist.
It wasn't a great image, but when I saw the image, I was looking at it going, hey, that looks like one of my images.
No, they can't do that.
And then I realized it was mine, but they got it off. So that's the thing. That's the thing with the getting on website, things like that.
Yeah.
You know, Nat Geo, they actually were offering those submissions at a 19, let me see, what was their, I think they want you to at least put 1,200 on the long side. That's a pretty good size file to be given away. And they were offering those, and I believe still do, as wallpapers for people. So you could just steal that image and put it on your computer as a wallpaper.
So, but thank you for coming over and being on the
Thank you
show.
for
What a great
having me.
guest!
It was awesome. It was fun.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
So remember to check out the show notes on understandphotography.com. This is episode 37 with Cheryl Arena. We're going to have all the links that we talked about today, the different contests and, you know, publications and things like that. So that'll all be in the show notes on understandphotography.com. And while you're there, look around. We've got hundreds of articles on there on understandphotography.com, and they're mostly teaching articles. And remember, our motto is we simplify the technical. So read they're short articles. You're going to learn. You're going to read really, really good stuff. If you're not already enrolled or subscribed to our newsletter, on the website, there are many places to subscribe. In fact, if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, we've got a free giveaway, the Essential Guide to Travel Photography. Sign up for that. You'll be on our newsletter. You'll get a free guide. It'll be great. Anyway, so next week on the Understand Photography Show, my guest is going to be photographer Jason Eldridge. So tune in here on the Understand Photography Facebook page at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time next Friday, and we will see you there. Or remember, you can watch the recordings on YouTube or listen to us on iTunes. Understand Photography. I'm Peggy Farren. Thanks for watching on episode 37 of the Understand Photography Show. We'll see you next week.